Good evening, everybody. We do have here another 1v1 Arabia matchup between two pros, both of which top 20, top 10 given a good day. They have sat around the top 10, top 20 mark for a long time now. We do have in the yellow playing as the Mayans ACCM, and then in the blue his enemy playing as the Cumans Villese. So just getting right into it. Two of them are starting to scout around their base. I am just going to speed it up a little bit. What we can expect is what seems to be standard from Cumans is building up, getting that second TC up as quickly as possible in the feudal age. There are a couple of good locations for dropping this TC, obviously wanting to have it on, if possible, a wood and another resource. However, that will not always be the case depending on the situation and depending on the map. One thing to note about Villese's map, he does have two forward stones and two of his golds are forward. The other one's kind of tucked away to the side, but still will likely be outside of his walls at this point in time. Very, very open map. If he's looking to wall off, this is a difficult map for him to be walling at all. He might have to just wall into the TC here and here, and then wall in the back, and that will be sufficient, but it will not be ideal. In comparison, we do have ACCM already starting his wall off with a couple of houses, and he is dropping a barracks immediately, playing as the Mayans. That is a little bit more standard than some other civilizations. As far as ACCM's base goes, it is a little bit easier to wall. It does have this gold that's a lot easier for him to protect. Same with this stone. If he can get a wall up here, that will be very helpful. However, it is still fairly open, all things considered, but overall, if either of the players are looking to wall, much easier for ACCM than it is for Villese. Alright, with these three militia coming forward, they will try to cause as much damage as possible. A barracks in defense already going up. Obviously, Villese did scout that the Drush is coming his way. He has almost walled up. He will be fully walled by the time any of these militia make their way through for this Eagle Scout. Unlikely at this point in time that the Drush will do too much damage, but if possible, this Eagle Scout could just run in, block this wall, and oh my goodness, doesn't wall fast enough. ACCM does the block. Great play by him. Allows his militia to run all the way around, and now we'll have to get some fast walls from Villese. See exactly what happened. So far, just a little bit of wasted time. Villese a bit slow, moving off the berries, trying to run away as quickly as possible. Will be protected with his militia that will come out of his own barracks, and will be able to clear this up eventually, but just one tile short of being able to protect. Instead of going down and killing the militia and Eagle in the back of his base, he decides to go forward, and he is going forward with villagers. See what kind of drop he has to do here. Obviously, playing as the Cumans, it is a little bit different than some of the other civilizations. Not enough wood right now, but he will be collecting up enough shortly. He hits the feudal age, and ACCM still sitting in the dark age, not yet clicked out. This wall off, not able to complete. Oh, it would have been so much easier to just wall straight to here, but I guess that is the spectator's view. A little bit easier for us to take a look than for him to see. The mill has gone down at this point in time, and these are now man-at-arms, and we do have a forward watchtower, playing a little bit against the meta. Villese is right now playing as Cumans. This is not as well known of a strategy, and already getting a Vill pick, this will make a massive difference. The tower, not ideal, but it does range a little bit of this stone, and this other stone is a little bit more difficult for him to get to, so putting up defensive towers himself, ACCM will not be able to protect himself quite as well as he would hope. Gating off back here, that does allow the back of his base to remain fairly closed. Again, these walls could be much more efficient if he had been able to scout it properly, but due to the fact that he was not able to, just the way it is. He is 82% of the way up to feudal age as the second watchtower in the back of his base comes down. Meanwhile, Villese not too worried about this rush in the back of his base. He is just walling up, repairing that wall, and completing what's necessary. Mayans obviously going straight into an archer build, immediately getting man-at-arms as well as the bit axe upgrade. This tower will make it up, but will lose lots of HP on these villagers. None of them will die, but does cause a little bit extra damage than what he was able to give. This mill still being harassed as much as possible by these three military over here, and we do see that both players now building their own archers. The archer of Villese being able to protect, as Villese is nearly walled back up with this mill. Going back to the forward, we do have the 4 villagers still going up. They are looking like they're clicked to stone mine, but they are not yet stone mining any stone. With these archers in the back, it will be difficult for them to stay aggressive without any more towers, and that is exactly what he decides to do. He knows that there's no stone being collected by other player ACCM, so he knows that there's no counter towers that will be coming up. Archers in the back trying to take out this eagle first, being the more difficult enemy, and then the rest of the man-at-arms will go down to TC fire in addition to archer fire. There we go. Great move here by ACCM to deny this tower, running forward with villagers as well as archers, still maintaining some protection of the other tower in the back, but unable at this point is Villese to actually build the rest of this tower. Instead, he will just continue to wall and boom up a little bit behind us. He is sending archers forward. I'd like to see 1 or 2 skirmishers in there as well. Villager count at this point in time, ACCM is slightly ahead with 2 extra villagers. Military is sitting the exact same right now, both of which are at 5 archers. Both of which have pretty similar HP, actually, all things considered. Almost the exact same. We now see ACCM moving forward with his archers. Blacksmith in the back of his base. Good for Villese to keep these villagers working, keep them occupied and building something at least. They will be building a lumber camp forward here so they can continue to collect resources before, without being fully idle. No second TC yet for Villese. As of right now, he does have enough stone, not enough wood to build it. Would like to see one somewhere forward here, adding a little bit of extra protection to his base and just really giving him that extra little edge that he gets in feudal age in compared to the other player. Militarily, ACCM is pulling ahead at this point in time. He does have 1 more archery range than what Villese has currently. But Villese starting to add in some skirmishers. Long term, obviously the Mayans do have the advantage when it comes to the archer line, but short term, either player can really get a little bit of an edge with a couple extra good fights. Military for ACCM starting to pull ahead a little bit. We got 11 archers here. Will be able to corner this other archer group if they continue on the route that they are going. But looks like they might not be able to see it. And no, it is in the line of sight, so those 2 groups do see each other, and we will see exactly what Villese's plan is to protect his army as much as possible. He gains the hill. It will be all down to the micro at this point in time. And one thing to note is ACCM is continuing to build 2 archers at a time, continuing to keep up production as much as possible, Villese has delayed the remainder of his builds. These archers will fall to the skirmishers unless there's great micro going through, which looks like micro's been pretty good so far for ACCM, but it's difficult to micro enough archers versus skirms 1v1. Moving away from that, we do see one villager come forward, is taking out this tower, but in all likelihood, these villagers will be able to kill her if they can put up some sort of wall behind. Instead, two of them go forward, they go to the tower, try and get this thing up. It's at 89-91%. Loses a villager, and that is a major loss right now. Maybe one or two of these archers will go down, but now he is trapped within his own tower. Archers are sitting at the top of the hill, running around as much as possible. Villagers have popped out, and they are stuck fully. All 4 villagers go down. Oh, no, one villager sneaks away for Villese, but this villager will have to run all the way back home in order to be productive at all. 92%. If this tower had been just a little bit further back, that might have been able to go up. And think of how different this game would be right now if there was a tower sitting right here in ACCM's base. Market going up right now for Villese, and he is looking to go up to the castle age. Second TC was dropped on the forward gold just to add a little bit more protection to his base. Both players now on the way up to the castle age. ACCM quite a bit ahead with much more military. With these all going for crossbow, it's looking like the only defense that Villese can do is tower and some forward siege units, whether it be a Scorpion or Mangonel. That will help quite a bit. These towers right now adding enough protection to keep the archers at bay. That is still 14 archers that will soon be crossbows. Skirm's able to follow around. They have quite a bit of pierce armor, so they are protected against the advances of the archers. And right off the bat, we see ACCM is in. He has already clicked up. He is building archers, and he is making them into crossbows as we speak. Blacksmith, he is researching Bodkin Arrow already, and he is just that much ahead. These archers will have a huge advantage, and he is going forward with 2 villagers, drop a forward siege workshop, and now that these are crossbows, there's not too much that even these skirmishers can do. If you look at it, 4+1 range, this is 5+2 range. They can sit out of the range of the skirms. They can sit out of the range of the town center at this point in time. But in response, right now Villese has hit the castle age. He is getting +1 range now on his archer units, getting elite skirmisher, and he is dropping a castle. Now this castle is in an interesting location in that it is protected by the TC and the tower. However, one thing I do worry about with this is it does not protect anything other than what is already currently protected by this tower and this TC. Unlikely that this castle would be denied unless there was a fantastic mangonel shot or something along those lines, but there's no mangonels coming through. Instead, ballistics coming through for the crossbows. Having to worry a little bit less about the microing against the skirmishers and against the inevitable unique units that will be coming out of the castle. Losing lots of villagers. Villese is really just falling a little bit more behind now. He's resigned. That surprised me. I thought that maybe he'd fight for a little bit longer, but it's a rated game. Hey, throw in the towel while you're in this situation. I think one thing that really set him apart was, yeah, he had an okay economy, but militarily he had no hope. Catching up, would have had to really make a couple of good shots with the siege that he did not have at this point in time. So overall, good game.